all doing hands at the end of that.
Yeah, that was weird the way you were doing that. I don't know what's wrong with you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're here to journey up the wormhole of science fiction television that is not Star Trek, or at the very most is not titled Star Trek, even though, let's face it, this is Star Trek.
It is.
This is Seth MacFarlane being denied a chance to create his own Star Trek series and saying, as he runs out of the building in a huff, I'm going to make my own Star Trek series with blackjack and hookers. And that's just exactly what he did with the Orville. But before we get too much into it, let's talk about where we landed. Are you ready for an overproduced transition?
It's not overproduced. You know what's funny?
That is overproduced, but I love
it. Overproduced. It's so good.
I absolutely love it. No, it is super overproduced. Okay, so created by Seth MacFarlane, because of course it was, The Orville is a science fiction comedy drama that lures you in by making you think it's going to be Family Guy in space, and then halfway through you realize, hold on, this man has tricked me into watching sincere ethical dilemmas with starships. It's like ordering a gas station hot dog and discovering that it has actual nutritional value, which is, frankly, rude. MacFarlane stars as Captain Ed Mercer, a man who looks like the regional manager at a Chili's was accidentally given command of a starship. His ex-wife, Commander Kelly Grayson, played by Adrienne Palicki, is his first officer because this show understands that the true final frontier of space are HR violations. Joining them are Penny Johnson-Gerald, Scott Grimes, Peter Macon, Halston Sage, Jay Lee, Mark Jackson, and the late, great Norm Macdonald as a gelatinous nightmare named Yaphet, which sounds completely made up even whenever it is completely real. The cast is basically what if every good Star Trek ensemble got trapped inside of a show that occasionally pauses for someone to make a dick joke. And then we get to today's episode that we're taking a look at, called If the Stars Should Appear, which is one of those episodes where the Orville stops gently clowning around and suddenly goes, hey, what if your entire civilization was built on a lie so enormous it could crush your human spirit like a grape in a cinder block? Also, dick jokes. The premise is fantastic. The Orville encounters what appears to be a giant generational ship, a massive vessel drifting through space with an entire society living inside of it like Starship Dandruff. These people do not know that they are on a ship. They think the ship is just the universe. They think the walls are just existence. Their whole understanding of reality is basically living your whole life in a mall and being told that the food court is the edge of known creation. And the leaders of this society have been keeping the truth from them because apparently once human beings get even a crumb of authority, the first thing they do is form a council and start lying to everybody. They've turned astronomy into heresy, science is banned, curiosity is a crime, so naturally this becomes an episode about ignorance, fear, and control, which is impressive for a show that also contains Clyden being the biggest douchebag in the galaxy and dick jokes. Ed and Kelly have to break it to these people that no, you are not living in the cosmos, you are in a busted-up spaceship jalopy. Your sun is not a sun. Your world is a mechanical accident held together with despair and exposed wiring. Your religion is basically someone misreading an owner's manual from 2,000 years ago. That, my friends, is what you would call a rough Tuesday. And the best part is that the people don't take it well, which is super realistic. Because if somebody walked into my house and said, Jason, I'm sorry, but Texas is actually the inside of a drifting Honda Civic. I would not respond with grace and intellectual flexibility.
Not a Honda Civic.
But then this episode pulls out its secret weapon like a lunatic producing a sword from under a bathrobe. Liam freaking Neeson.
I just want you to know.
Liam Neeson, not yet. Not yet. Liam Neeson shows up in the Orville, and it is one of the funniest "why is he here" moments in television. Not because he's bad. He's Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson could read Liam Neeson could read the back of a shampoo bottle and make it sound like he's about to avenge his family. But that is exactly why this is so glorious. The show suddenly goes from space workplace dramedy to an Oscar-nominated thunder god has arrived to explain the plot. And that is really what makes the Orville work. Under all the dick jokes and awkwardness and Seth MacFarlane looking permanently like a man who got called into a meeting he forgot about, the show genuinely loves this kind of storytelling, and it was absolutely in love with 90s Next Generation. If the Stars Should Appear is funny, weird, thoughtful, and just self-serious enough to hit. It asks, what happened when people are so afraid of the truth that they build an entire culture around never looking out a window, which honestly feels a little too relatable these days, if you know what I'm talking about. So if you have never watched The Orville, just know this. It is a show where the captain argues with his ex-wife in space, an alien blob flirts with Cassidy Yates, Bortus glares at furniture and his husband, and then every once in a while it delivers a genuinely great science fiction episode about civilization-wide delusion, capped off by Liam Neeson materializing like Space Moses. And how could you not respect that? Now you can say something.
Well, I just want to mention that this was sponsored by or chosen by our Patreon, Jaden. We are grateful for your selection here to bring us into the world of the Orville. And I also found it very funny that a lot of our Star Trek alum are a little tethered in this, besides Penny Johnson-Gerald. You also have director Jonathan Frakes, Robert Duncan McNeil. Jon Favreau did an episode. And I know he's not really Star Trek, but I like Jon Favreau.
He could be if he wanted to be.
That's true. He could pretty much do anything. And then Brandon Braga, did producing, directing, and writing.
Yes. So, and we also have several alums from Star Trek who end up making appearances later, and it's always a fun, moment in the show.
Yeah. And I'd like to take a moment and say hello to everybody. And I also would like to say that if you want to choose one of our wormhole episodes, you can do so by becoming a patron. Yes, you can become a patron for the low price of $2.99. You can scan that QR code right above his head. I hope nothing broke. I hope that wasn't important. You can scan that QR code right above.
I don't trust it.
And for just $2.99, you can become a patron at our conspirator level. And you will get wonderful stickers such as "It's the Butt Bugs" featuring Jason Roy Gaston and Teddy, where it looks like Teddy is choking Jason Roy Gaston. So, I've got you.
He was. Little paws around my neck and everything. It's a good thing he's weak.
Or you will get our 3D stickers, the Captain's Quadrant, which is
3D.
It's 3D. So that's at the $2.99 level. You can also purchase our brand new Captain's Quadrant, Jason Roy Gaston, VHS Jace, and Joe Dove First Contact stickers. Those can be bought individually or in a set for $21.95. The set is obviously $21.95. The Jason Roy Gaston one is lovely, but just so you know, if you're doing individually off of our website, captainsquadrant.com, I know this is a whole spiel of plugging our own plugging. But if you buy the Jason Roy Gaston one, you get a beautiful image of him being Texan as Texan can be, shooting at things. But the Joe Dove and VHS Jace ones, those are foil. So, shiny.
They're quite lovely.
They are. They're beautifully designed by VHS Jace himself. So many thanks to him. And he will be joining us in a bit as we will dive into Firing at Will, talking about the amazing new end of cancellation, actually. Not really amazing. The cancellation of Starfleet Academy. So anyway, let me go into the comments and say hello to our friends. We've got Faded Negative saying hello. Hello, sir.
Hello,
Sarah, good to see you.
Hello, friends.
Faded Negative is donating once again.
Sarah. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Sarah. You can become a transgressor like Holly and get all the perks of top tier. Hello, I ain't done yet. All top tier wonders. Oh, Karen McLeod, who I'm sending. She's getting tomorrow. I am shipping out all of our winners stuff except for Damon J because he's in Canada and that's a whole nother thing. His will go out later when I get paid. The good to see you, Karen McLeod, and good Futurama plug.
Yes, my own Star Trek show with blackjack and hookers. I actually included that line in my novel, by the way.
So. Oh, yes. Your novel, which is here, right? Can I plug it now? Or
yes, you can plug my novel now. I insist. Oh my god, look how beautiful it is.
Yes, Jason Roy Gaston has a novel, and if you wish to support him and his fun endeavors, he's actually a very good writer because he's blessed us with some excerpts, and it's really lovely. And I hope that you guys go and buy
shocked.
it.
They're like, geez, he actually is not a complete idiot.
It's like, wow, you form complete sentences?
Wow.
So be sure to go pick up that novel.
Actually do know how to use a semicolon. That's amazing.
An ellipsis, my word. All right. Let's see, where were we? I don't have my glasses, so this is a lot of fun. I don't
know where we are either. I've got them right here. I stole them. Ha!
Damn it, Jason. So is JRG laggier for anyone else? It comes.
I think that's just me.
I love that. There's a meme right now. It's like, hey, would you rather $1,000 or would you like to delete a racist's Y? And then it's Wi-Fi, but they cut it off so it freezes. Ed is the best name for a captain. I wonder why he said that. I have two little spots that hung for me, but both went smooth otherwise.
I think they're talking about my signal.
The Wi-Fi,
yeah. My internet signal has been wonky the last few days. So if I disappear, I'm sorry, everybody. You're stuck with Joe.
Not stuck with Joe. You have the absolute blissful moment where you can hang out with Joe Dove solo. It's a rarity. I'm usually
don't be mean to him. If I do just don't be mean to him. He tries his best, and that's the sad part.
I give great hugs.
He doesn't. They're sweaty.
Well, I didn't say they weren't. I see what you did there. Hot dog, frankly. Sarah says, I'll try refreshing. Thanks. Wi-Fi. The My Figure Universe Faded Negative says to My Figure Universe, for a Seth MacFarlane comedy, the best captain name would have to be
that's right, Richard. Yes,
Richard. Yeah, yes. That makes a lot of sense. Season 3 of the Orville definitely shifted gears away from the comedy. Yes, it really did. That's when it got too romancy, and then is that when the android took over and turns out he was like a evil Superman?
I think that was the one after that. That was whenever we got that absolute gift to the show, Charlie. Everyone loved Charlie so much with her. This is not, I don't like you because I am an analogy for a racist.
Oh.
Yeah. We didn't like her. It's okay.
Understood.
I actually I love the Orville, but I do think it did lose some of its uniqueness whenever it shifted away from comedy in the later seasons. I wish it would have, and I know some people were like, I wish they'd stop making those base humor jokes. That's just, to me it made them feel more real. It made them feel distinct from Star Trek. Like, this is Star Trek The Next Generation. But at the same time, it's like Star Trek The Next Generation with characters who are not idealized.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I liked that Bortus was kind of a jerk and that, Ed was obviously did not deserve command of the ship.
Yeah. I also really like the enemy, the main bad guy. They're clowns, or
the Krill.
The Krill.
I thought, what a strange name for, the krill. Watch out, the krill will get us unless a humpbacked whale happens to swim through.
Then we're good.
Then we're good, yes.
One just washed up on the beach near us, so that was kind of weird.
That's terrible. Why would you even bring that up?
Because it happened.
This morning I was driving to work and there was a dead kitten on the side of the road. Okay, let's talk about the Orville now.
Way bigger than a kitten, man. This thing was, whoa. Did you know how big those are?
Yes.
They're huge.
Yes.
Never saw one up close. Anyway.
I bet that smelled wonderful, too.
Oh, it's awful. It was truly terrible. The Tribal Jeevers arrived back in the CQ. Have a great show, everyone, from our fun.
Yes, it's going great so far. We're talking about Joe's dead whales right now.
It's not my dead whale. It's actually New York City's dead whale.
Are they going to blow it up like they did in Oregon?
I doubt it, but there's going to be a spike in Chinese food this week. No. I'm gonna have to.
Okay, Charlie. I don't like Chinese food because I'm a racist.
I'm not racist. I love Chinese people. Some people think I'm. Anyway, yes.
This is going south like fast.
Yes.
Like, I honestly kind of feel like bailing right now.
No, stick around.
Okay. Let's continue talking about the Orville before Joe keeps talking.
Orville, definitely worth it. McFarlane forgot about it though. Ghosted the cast. Oh,
I still hear every now and again there's a whisper of a season 4, which I would love to see a season 4, but I'm sorry, guys, I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think so.
I really, really don't believe it's going to happen, and that breaks my heart because I do think the Orville was special. It was special. It was a comfort food. It was tuning in and going, oh, it's season 8 of Star Trek: The Next Generation, which I guess would be season 9 now because we have Star Trek Picard. I enjoyed it. It was great. It was so visually similar to Star Trek: The Next Generation, from the set design to the uniforms to even the musical cues. It was just basically Seth MacFarlane going, this is Star Trek: The Next Generation, but free of copyright.
Yeah. He did what Axanar couldn't, I suppose.
Well, you don't want me starting to talk about Axanar.
Yeah, please. I think he's a friend of ours on social media. So, my new Captain Squadron shirt arrived 2 days ago. I'll have to get a new picture wearing it. Absolutely. We'll be at Trek Long Island. You can come hang out there with us. Or if you're in the...
What's this us stuff?
Oh, that's right. You're not going. It'll be me.
Sorry, I'm not going to be there. I will be in Italy.
He'll be in Italy.
I'll be in Italy eating the pizza
the war
and
goes
the spaghetti.
Really bad. If America goes further into war, it's a world war. He's going to be on a Trek on Long Island. This is really bad. We keep making this terrible thing. And when I say we, I mean me. But, yeah. So, front mentioned butt bug plugging in the same sentence.
We shouldn't say butt bug and plugging in the same sentence. No.
I think Seth MacFarlane would approve of this podcast.
I hope he would. Seth, come join us. My gosh.
Yeah, right?
We'll let you make as many dick jokes as you want. I'll join in. Amazing. Joe is blind.
I'm not blind, but my vision has changed. And because it's allergy season, no, I'm kidding. I'll be snagging the book, Jason. I'm about done with the 12th series I'm working on, so I'll need more to read. Oh, interesting. I watched Life is Chuck recently, and now I freak out when my internet goes out. Okay.
I don't know what Life of Chuck is.
Yeah, I don't know what Life of Chuck is either, but my fingernails again says
there we go.
Banging Seth equals job. Wow.
That's how you get a job on a Seth MacFarlane series.
Wow. Well, I guess I should, if he ever comes on
That's
our
how
show,
Scott Grimes got on the show.
Oh, wow. All right. Jason. Oh my. Oh my. We got one more. I'll have to make sure when Trek Long Island, his wife has pre-booked my summer vacation this year, so I have to make sure it doesn't conflict. It's the 14th of June, so hopefully it does not. I'd love to hang out with you again, sir. You're a wonderful human being. Orville. I love that the bad guy for this episode was the guy from The Heroes 4th season. That fizzled out. Do you remember? Did you ever watch it?
No, nobody watched the 4th season of Heroes.
Oh,
Are you talking about Heroes Reborn?
No. Heroes.
Okay, well, there were no there wasn't a fourth season of Heroes.
So it just, what am I thinking about then?
I have no idea what the heck you're thinking about. Because I don't remember. I remember the first season of Heroes, and then after that, it kind of becomes this tumor in my head.
Oh, jeez.
Where I'm just like, how did you mess up a premise this great? And then they're like, yes, we're going to do Heroes Reborn. I'm like, yay, they're going to get it right. And we're going to screw everything up again. Oh, no. Why? Why? Parkman is the bad guy. How? Why? I don't get it. Yeah.
Well, oh boy. The actor's name is Robert Napper, and he was in a bunch of shows. But notably, I guess it was the third season of Heroes. He played the Earth guy, and he had he played Samuel Sullivan.
You're saying these names like I would know them.
You still okay? You'll have to watch Heroes though. Like I know you gave up on it, but
I watched the third season of Heroes. I just don't remember it because it was so bad.
Yeah,
but Heroes was basically my abusive spouse at the time, which is weird because I actually had an abusive spouse at the time. But I had two abusive spouses. It's like you said, you were in a throuple at one point. So was I. I had two abusive spouses. One was human. The other one was Heroes. I would tune in every week thinking, oh, maybe he's changed. And no, it was the same old thing every now and again. But at the end of every episode, it's like, oh, baby, give me one more chance. You know I can change. But never did. Dirty two-timing dog that Heroes was.
Wow. She has me booked for 2 weeks in July, so all good. All right, great. See you then. I can't wait. Heroes got progressively worse, yes, and he was also a Voyager. Now
I've only got one abusive spouse now.
Yeah, I thought it was Battle Cat that was abusive. No, that's the one that smacked you in the face, right?
No, this is Chansey. You can tell because he's massive. Look how fat he is. Look at just fat boy.
Oh,
Him's so fat. He's like Bortus.
Oh,
like, Clyden, you're the worst person in the world, and yet I will not kill you.
So I had a funny thing that happened. I was looking at this episode, and then I was like, I wonder what other people felt. So I decided to look at blogs, and in the blog sphere, I forget where I was watching it. Someone mentioned how Bortus's relationship with his partner reminded them of O'Brien and Keiko. Space Nine, and I was dying. I was like, "That's good.
That's not fair. That's not fair." You know what? I will actually at times defend Keiko because I think she was super overhated by the fan base. But now that you mention it, I do kind of wonder if Clyden and Bortus were not if it was not a parallel to Miles and Keiko. Now I'm going to have to rewatch all the Orville episodes and just kind of like, because they did have a kid.
They did. Yeah. I'm thinking this was.
Yeah.
I think it was. Greg Vorob. I hope I'm saying that right. Hello, first time watcher. I was informed via news of another podcast that I follow that VHS Jason would be here. So I will linger around here for that segment. Thank you. Let's call him Jim Stockman. Interesting. Very interesting. He's
not actually here, is he?
I don't know.
Because there is drama right now. And if he's here, I really need to know.
Jace is always here, especially in Heart.
Oh, God.
I mean, his footprint is all over everything I do, so.
Yeah.
Big thanks.
I was wondering what that smell was.
We are going to jump into the next segment where we can talk with VH. Oh, no, wait. We have one more bumper before we do that.
What the f*** is this?
I think you kind of covered that.
Yeah. I just want to give one final thought before we bring the quality of the show down by letting VHS Chase on here.
I can't wait for him to come on.
I'm going to get called names, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll deserve it. Now, here's my wild take, because we are going to be talking about what has happened with Star Trek Starfleet Academy and its unfortunate cancelization. I just made up a new word. Here's my take. Let Seth MacFarlane do a dang Star Trek show.
Oh.
Just let him do it. Just come up to him and say, Seth, you want to do a Star Trek show? You want to know what he would say? He'd say, do I? And then he would do
Does he have an accent
Star
like
Trek show. I'm sure he does. But yeah, I let Seth MacFarlane make a Star Trek show. I think he would be extraordinarily good with it. And he is friends with a big number of the Star Trek alums. Like, I know that him and Patrick Stewart are very good friends. You can hear Patrick Stewart on American Dad all the time. And
they did a whole Next Gen reunion on Family Guy.
Yes, they did. With even Denise Crosby came back to give one whole line before they killed her all over again.
Very brilliant.
Yeah, but I would love to see Seth MacFarlane take a genuine crack at it. Do I think Paramount will let him do it? No. But I'd still want to see it. That's all I have to say.
All right. Well, that's what we thought of the Orville. I really enjoyed the episodes that I saw. Liam Neeson was a gem. I love the episodic format and the story being wrapped up in one episode. So big on them. Good job. I hope to see more of Orville. I hope we should do another one of these in the future. Yes. And let us take a weird look and go into the spot where we can do this, where we can fire at will. But we'll be back in the green space in a second.
Fire at will.
All right, we're going to bring him in, but we're going to flip back to the green space. There we go. I don't know why that happened. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to talk about the cancellation of Star Trek Starfleet Academy VHSJs. Yay!
That was a fucking painful 30 minutes. I'm glad he's walked off, because you're going to sit there and listen to him lecture about his grandiose thoughts on a show. God forbid you had anything to say, Joe.
Yeah, I know. Welcome to the Jason monologue.
I want to know what he's saying
if you wanted to. So. Oh, God, that is rough having to sit in the lobby with you two. It really is.
I think that's bad. Try being on the show.
You talked about the smell. That's all the shit that you guys have been dribbling for 30 minutes. That's what the smell is.
Oh, man.
Yes. Thank you for having me on. All seriousness, guys.
We totally don't.
It's been a week.
It's been a week. It's been a week for sure.
Big week. Mm-hmm. So, obviously we're talking about the cancellation. And before we go into it, obviously, I know this has been mentioned. Anything I have to say, look, the actors and the crew lost their jobs this week. Not great. All right. Very sad for them. Although they are in an industry where that is very common and they would be prepared for that. But certainly to the crew and actors, they did what they could.
Yeah.
The show being cancelled, like, there's several different ways to look at this, but the number one thing is it's not show fun and friends. It's show business. And at the end of the day, the show lost money. It was a financial decision. I know a lot of people have been coming at it that it's some sort of political motive behind it, or it was because of hate bombing. They're just ridiculous notions. This show was destined to be cancelled before it even aired. And without putting a giant graphic that says, I told you so, I've been talking about this 6 months ago, that this was dead on arrival. And the same with, not announced yet. And this is only a rumor that Kurtzman will be going. That has been talked about for almost a year now as well. So none of this is really a surprise. The fact that it did lose money is sad, but the problem is it's not just one show they lost money on, Kurtzman. If you go back and look at most of the content that's come out in New Trek, has not been profitable. But listen, at the end of the day, as much as I have had a problem with Kurtzman, he gave it big swings. He had an idea, he had a concept, he had a vision. And he tried the best that he can with the limited ability he had to get his vision up on the screen. It just didn't work, The other thing I wanted to talk about was the fans, and the finger pointing this week has been unbelievable. I've never seen so much finger pointing, which is hilarious because you've got the right going, it was too woke, and then you've got the left going, they hate bombed it and reviewed it. The problem is it wasn't either side's fault because they watched the show.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're right or whether you're left, whether you hated it, whether you loved it, each one of those people were watching the show. People have got to remember it was everybody else they lost. It was the casual viewer who doesn't have Star Trek on their algorithm because they don't give a shit. They're just the people that get onto the menu system and go, oh yeah, I remember Star Trek. Let's give this show a go. They're the ones that stopped watching or the ones that didn't watch at all. So I think that's the bigger question with Star Trek. It's not anybody who watches the show is actually not responsible for its failure because they contributed to the numbers.
Yeah.
It's the rest that didn't watch it. You lost them. Why did you lose them? Could it be from what the left perspective is? It's been hate probably. Could it be from the right perspective that was too much? We are not going to know. So at the end of the day, Paramount can't judge on that either. What the feelings are, they based their decision on numbers and on money. And that's why the show was kind of cancelled. And all this fan derision, you're pointing it at the wrong way. You're pointing it at the wrong way. You should be looking at the fact that the reality is Star Trek is going to change. It's just going to happen. And that's a good thing. That's an exciting thing. Because at the end of the day, we're going to get different ideas, different stories. We've got 10 years of content that you could soak up and enjoy. With still another 3 seasons of Star Trek coming down the pipeline with this new Trek. But then a whole new world's going to open up. New writers' rooms. People who, from the legacy that have been involved in the background, like Brannon Braga and other creators, may get an opportunity to tell stories in this new space. Maybe they don't. Who knows? But at the end of the day, the hysteria, I think, out of all this is the one thing that is just people just need to take a step back and accept the fact that this has happened. It is done. And look forward to a hopeful future in the Star Trek universe.
This
anyway,
reminds me.
Can I shut the fuck up now? Thank
you. It reminds me of the time that Enterprise went off the air and they shelved Trek for a little bit and then came back with the 09 movie. And then it got a really big revitalization and it led to all the different things that we know and watched today. And I think that a lot of what cut that we're getting now is because of the corporate merger between Skydance and Paramount, and then that company henceforth buying Warner Brothers, and that's a lot of money that they put up. I want to say it was like over $100 billion with a B.
Yeah,
$1 billion, and they gotta go. Oh wow, we just spent a fuck ton of money. Let's go and cut everywhere because other shows got canceled. Scouts is gone. That kid show done.
Oh my God! That show.
I forgot it even existed.
Yeah, it had better scripts than Starfleet Academy.
Are we ever going to find out what
more nuanced characters?
Are we ever going to find out what happened to the Vulcan kid with like the bionic parts? Did they ever do his tragic backstory?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't watch it.
Dang, I don't know. I only watched one episode of it.
I heard it's Bo. well, maybe we'll go back and watch it, but. That's going to wrap up, and some other shows apparently are being cut up as well. Like besides Star Trek, it's just Star Trek is the focus because that's the world.
Yeah, what's the biggest news in Star Trek in 20 years? This is the biggest story.
You're right.
There has never been a top line, which was considered to be start of the new wave of the flagship show, get cancelled after a season. This is huge. This is massive. Can I also address the rumors going around that they will focus on year one? That is absolutely not going to happen. I will bet everything I own, year one will not come into existence. It will not, as what people are predicting, a sequel to Strange New Worlds. It can't.
No.
Because if you end the deal with Kurtzman, there are certain things that studio owns over Star Trek. I believe that's the reason why you couldn't do anything more in the 32nd century moving forward.
Correct.
So, they've got a real trick. So you're not going to get that. You are definitely not going to get that show.
But also,
what they will do, who knows? I think it'll be about attaching itself to the legacy.
yeah. Also, what also got canceled was Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dora, the CG animated, Happy Face, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, as we know, Dexter: Original Sin got canceled.
Yeah, that's the kid one, and they're going to continue with the older.
Yeah, NCIS, Tony and Ziva. I didn't watch that one. And Yellow Jackets is going to conclude.
Yeah, but that was always preordained. That was preordained.
Yeah, I think that was kind of set up.
Yeah.
Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies, the game.
But Joe, no offense, who gives a shit about those?
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
we care about Star Trek, right? That's what we
I'm just saying, other things got cut too. Like, let's not forget. There's been a huge.
But Star Trek has a bigger problem, and the bigger problem is not that it was making money, but it has put a wedge in the fandom. Whether you want to accept it or not, whether you agree with it or not, that's the reality. It is absolute reality. You go from Threads to X, and you tell me there isn't division in the fan base.
Oh yeah,
you're going to get two wildly different perspectives on that show and how it's being handled. It's insane to see. It's just hysteria, you know. At the end of the day, you got to think of it logically. It is a business. What do you think they're going to do with Star Trek moving forward? Yes, they're going to get legacy people coming in. They're going to go for safety, right?
Yep.
So yes. You are the people on the left are going to be able to go, this is not as progressive as it has been. Mm-hmm. But if they think all progressiveness is gone, well, you don't have a show.
Right.
And even Paramount know that. You can't take away one of the core attributes of the show because of your political leaning. Because forget about your political leaning. Money matters here.
Yeah.
It's more powerful than who's in the White House. Is profitability. They've got shareholders to answer to. So that's definitely going to be moving away from, I think, any controversial stuff in and around the political area. You know, and, you know, Greg Vorob, who's watching now, brought up an excellent example of why Paramount will leave Star Trek alone, because you just need to look at South Park, which I think is a perfect example. South Park says and does what it wants, and they are not going to F with that. It makes billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So Star Trek, I think, has got a good, steady future ahead of it. I really do. I'm excited about it. Things are bubbling. New showrunner will get announced. They'll have these little writers' getaways, and they'll have whiteboards with new ideas and new characters. God damn, that's awesome.
Jason Roy Gaston, how are you feeling about the cancellation of Starfleet Academy?
Get that motherfucker into a writer's room.
Yeah, that's true. He's very good.
Yeah, I agree.
As we mentioned, he has a book.
Yes,
you can go buy it right
it's
now.
Awesome.
He's got a book.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I gave a copy to Jason. He chewed on it. It was awesome.
Well, I actually read it as like a 4D experience, so it got messy at one point without giving away spoilers. Jason knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Explosive diarrhea.
Yeah.
It
added to the experience, I'll say that.
Okay, so I honestly think it's all business, because let's face it, and I know Jace has made an entire video about this. New Trek, it was obscenely expensive to produce. Obscenely. And I say that as somebody who actually enjoyed Star Trek Discovery. And I enjoy Strange New Worlds until it got stupid. And I loved the heck out of Star Trek Prodigy. But it was super overproduced, and it was obscenely expensive. And here's the thing. It did not need to be. It was almost like a flex. And I think that they flexed so much that eventually the fist came back and punched them in the face, because now they're asking, why are we spending $200 million on this show that no one seems to want? And I think that was the other thing, which absolutely no shade towards the actors on Star Trek Academy, because I think that they are honestly a huge strength for the show for the most part. Nobody wanted Star Trek Starfleet Academy. I can't think of anybody who said, I really wish they would do an Academy show. If I ever heard anybody say that, it was usually, well, I hope they don't do an Academy show. But that, I don't know. It almost seems like it was ego more than anything else in some of these calls. And I don't know if it was Kurtzman or other people, but it almost seems like I have an idea, and even though nobody's asking for it and everyone tells me it's a bad idea, I'm going to enact this idea and spend $200 million on special effects and this gigantic, beautiful atrium that's going to house this show that absolutely nobody wants and nobody wants to watch. And I don't know, some of the business decisions that have been made are just, I don't even have words for how bad they were. They're baffling. That's a great idea. Okay. And it does seem like that they went out of their way to ignore feedback from fans, because what did fans want? We can say it 3, 2, 1, 3 words: Star Trek Legacy. Yeah. Everybody was like, we want this show. We want Captain 7 of 9 and the Enterprise G. We want it. And Kurtzman is over there going, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Here's Starfleet Academy. So I do think it's a combination of those three things. It's ego, it is cost, and it is just absolutely being deaf to what fans actually wanted. And I think that is what led to this to the downfall of New Trek. Now, am I happy? No, I'm not happy, because despite the fact that I had major problems with Star Trek Starfleet Academy, I do think the show had promise. And I do think with another year, I honestly believe that season 2 is going to be really good based on how the show ended this season. I think that they finally started reaching a balance. So am I happy that this show is canceled? Absolutely not, because I would have loved to have seen where they went next. And now we're not going to have that opportunity. And that is not something to celebrate. That is not something to gloat over. Overall, whenever a piece of art, and it's art, not art. Yeah, it's art. When a piece of art is cut off prematurely, it's tragic. It always is.
Can I say I thought about what I think is a way around to keep the show? If I was like, for all of a sudden, no, we want Starfleet Academy to continue to exist. This weird universe. We want you to. What are you going to do with it, Jason? I would make season 3. I would turn it into an anthology season, and I would go Starfleet Academy 2313, and another season called Starfleet Academy 2264.
Oh, like
and I would turn into an anthology series.
Interesting.
And looking at the education. And that's the only way I think the show survives. The problem is there's way too much money. And they went all in on this show without testing it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest problem. They didn't test it. And yes, I've gone on and on about the dialogue, the scripts of this show. Really, they made a bad call. They really made a bad call. I just don't understand. You were talking about off camera, Jason. I'm going to throw you under the bus. That you thought it was funny, and I hope I'm not going to get. You thought it was funny that jokes they did in the Orville, they did in Starfleet Academy. People laughed at them at the Orville, but they didn't like them in Starfleet Academy. That just comes down to execution, right? Same material, it's the way it's done. Yeah. And that's the other problem with the show. The comedy felt weird because the tone was weird. Like when Space Reggie throws up glitter, it feels weird the first time. Like,
there was some comedy that worked, though. And one of my favorite...
Sam generally worked.
Yeah, Sam worked. And I will tell you right now, I think that there is one thing there is a line that Starfleet Academy gave that will forever be one of my favorite Star Trek lines. And I think I will even use it in my educational career from here on out. They shenaned once, they will shenan again. I'm sorry, that's clever. And the way, and I keep forgetting the actress's name, which is so shameful of me because she's so talented and wonderful. But the actress who plays Laura Thok delivered that so hilariously.
Yashir.
And even
Gina Yashir.
Gina Yashir, yes. Forgive me, Ms. Yashir, because you are outstanding. But even the way it was received by Captain Aki was just hilarious. Just the good job.
If you had lessened
it had
that 30% and introduced more Star Trek, it might have worked. See, here's the problem. It was too much, a lot of that.
Yes.
It's too much. It's not like Captain Aki's, she's quirky, so she sits on the chair weird. Fine occasionally, but every freaking scene. Like Laura Dyke has to do the same kind. Everything was turned up to 11 and wave characters. And it works for Sam because she's a digital character and she's a toddler for most of the season intellectually. So that kind of works. But it doesn't work all the time with all the characters. So and look, at the end of the day, it's done. It's over. I would be putting $10 on the fact that they may dump and run the second season.
Oh,
What I mean dump and run is the whole season gets dumped at once. Quietly, that's kind of it. Because here's the fascinating thing moving forward. And the thing that shocked me the most is how early the announcement was made.
Yeah.
In the run of the show, they didn't even wait for like fourth episode in or build a marketing campaign around the last, it's the last series or whatever. Hey, it's shocking. So how do they handle it moving forward? Star Trek, New Trek has not given us any reason to believe they will handle this with dignity based on how they've handled things previously.
Prodigy.
No.
Correct. No. I would say even Lower Decks in a way.
Yeah.
Lower
Decks. They got a ceremony.
I'm not trusting them how they're going to do with it. And then how do you build up excitement? In a way, did you not cost yourself a significant more of the audience that you're complaining is not there by announcing this so early?
Yeah.
Jason, you're not the only one to say, hey, man, I think this show's got potential. Let's keep it going. Well, those casual fans are not going to invest.
No.
Sure as shit with a show that I'm not passionate about. If I know it's been done in 2 seasons, I don't even bother watching it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to. 2 seasons, they haven't told their whole story. Screw it.
I'm reminded of that scene from Breaking Bad when they kill off Hank. Whenever Hank looks at him and says, Walter, he decided my fate 10 minutes ago. That's it. They, it's Starfleet Academy saying they decided my fate 10 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Such a bold, it is his biggest swing. And that's when I talked about swings earlier with Kurtzman, is to go 20 episodes. Yeah, a $250 million project or whatever it was.
250
on untested time, on an untested timeline with untested characters. Wow. If they were doing we were doing the original series, because that's the smartest idea ever, is to do the first year of that. Then you can see, okay, they're going to go all out. I can kind of see why that would be an expensive budget, but it shouldn't be because the Enterprise already exists. Enterprise is already there. I don't know. Just money, man. And that was the big rumors going around for ages about him. It wasn't really his creative choices Paramount cared about. It was his expenditure reports that they cared about.
He was like, I got money.
Here's a problem. Throw money at it. Here's another problem. Throw money at it.
And see, that's something that I don't understand is that, okay, the sets on Star Trek Starfleet Academy look amazing. They do. They are high quality sets. It is a beautiful set. Every time I look at it, I think, wow, it is. Yeah, it's highly reflective. It's gorgeous. But let's be perfectly honest. You could have shot this series in a closed commercial college, and it would have been exactly the same. It would just been less eye candy. Instead of the atrium, you have an outdoor courtyard.
Yeah.
You know what, Jace? I think you've also opened up the real answer here. New Trek, get more grounded. Like, that would be so much better in a real old used college done up. It would feel grounded in something.
Okay, Star Trek Picard, the 3rd season, is considered probably the best season of New Trek. I would say that's okay.
Agreed.
Look at the way it was shot. It was shot conservatively. It was shot on closed sets. It was shot with, very, very basic, the sets were not super, super duper, fancy.
Yeah.
It was, Yeah, there was no AR wall. There was no, there was special effects and everything. You could tell it's definitely a lot slicker than it was back in the 90s. But compared to Starfleet Academy or Strange New Worlds or Discovery, it was very modest in its construction. And to me, that is what made it feel like, Star Trek.
So true. And you know what they did really great with Picard season 3? You felt, it really felt like you were on a starship.
Yes.
When you're on the Titan, because they used the space so well. Like, you knew where the bridge was, you knew where you got a sense of the navigation. I got to say, with Starfleet Academy in that first season, I had no sense of the Athena outside the bridge, outside a couple of minor sets, the atrium, which I still don't know is part of the building back at San Francisco or the ship, because it's
part of the ship.
building.
Yeah, whenever they zoomed out of the atrium and you saw where it was in the ship, I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that's where it was, but it's in the neck. That sounds very dangerous.
But what you have to do, you need to go back to separation of spectacle to TV show.
Yes, I agree.
We need our movies to be spectacular. I will stand by that.
I stand by
Give us spectacular movies, but then they're grounded in, fix your cameras down, build sets, film outside, like the Orville. See, the Orville, which you guys were talking about, one of the reasons I do love that, I love the old school filming. I love the fact they're in a Batlock in California, doubling for a planet. I like the physical sets. And goddamn, I love the carpet on that bridge. But like, in the sense of that show, there is a way to bring back that cinematic style, enhance it a bit more without turning it up to 11, which we've had. And then the problem is, at the moment, you've now set a dangerous expectation of what Star Trek should look like over the last 10 years, which kind of sucks if you wanted to continue in that timeline, because it means your show is always going to be expensive. Yeah. You can't make a cheap show. But now in the future, maybe they could set that precedent of, you know what, we're going to make these episodes $3 million each. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're going to give you 15 episodes. It'll cost us $45 million. And I bet you dollars to donuts, with the innovation out there, the passion people have for Star Trek, they'll make it look as good as Kurtzman's production.
Yeah.
Maybe not just a big fancy set.
Yeah.
There's a lot of LEDs in it, a lot of LED lighting.
And that lens flare. Get rid of that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
I mean, it looks great early on. When we first saw Discovery, I was the first one to go, holy shit, they're bringing the movie quality home.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it was like, after a couple of, holy shit, they haven't got anyone who can write on this show.
I really like it. Control season was incredible for Discovery.
Are we hopeful for Star Trek, guys? Are we hopeful? I know it's sad, but are we have any hope for a future for Star Trek?
I prefer to live a life of optimism personally, that everything will be better. You know, I can't guarantee it will. I can't predict the future, but I choose to live optimistically.
I think as any good corporation knows that when you have a great IP, you're going to have great people behind that IP and test it and make sure that it's a success before going to market. And I think that's ultimately what's going to happen, is they're going to sit people in a room saying, this is our new product. You know, like, I don't know if you guys are watching all the burger wars where the CEOs are eating pieces of their burger and the McDonald's guy takes like a nibble and the Wendy's guys goes to town. It's that type of sense and sensibility.
Well, if they open the doors, you imagine, remember, this is what Lucasfilm did. When Lucas was going to do his TV show, remember the Underground one?
Right.
And he had these weekends where he'd get some of the most phenomenal names in Hollywood writers and brought them up for, like these weekends in Marin County at Lucasfilm, these writers' weekends. Like some of the biggest names in sci-fi writing got their pitch stories and wrote scripts.
Yeah.
And that's what Star Trek needs to do. They need to embrace their past, not in just front of the camera, less so in front of the camera, more so behind the camera. Let's bring these people in, not to make it like it was, but to help guide its future.
Yeah.
Like it should be like I love my AFL football here in Australia. And anybody who loves sport and understands team sport, understands to be successful teams, even at their pinnacle, will change over their squad 25% each year to keep it fresh, to keep new blood in. Do that similar thing with the writers' room. Start it off with majority legacy writers and then bring in those apprentice writers, train them up, teach them how to write stuff.
Pass the baton, for sure.
When you mentioned, guys.
I just want to mention, once you mentioned sports, he blanked out. He was just like,
I'm sorry, I'm gone. That's
he did.
That and all the ketamine he's on at the moment. Goddamn horse tranquilizer he's taking.
Oh my goodness.
I'm kidding. Well, that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to say. I really appreciate you guys for letting me come home here and rant about it.
Absolutely.
Where else are you going to find me able to rant? Well, over an old man yelling at Star Trek. Well, I, of course, address this, as well as many other things that annoy the absolute fuck out of me. But until then, guys, thank you for your love and support, and we'll see you, I don't know, in a few weeks. Something else will piss me off. I'll be back.
Sounds good. We'll be glad to have you.
God, I thought he'd never leave.
It was great to see him. And of course,
I heard that, and fuck you. So,
love ya.
That was cool.
He's so pleasant.
Yeah, if you want to help him out, we appreciate all the support. He's a fantastic human being, and like I said, he's the reason why we look so good. And all of the product that comes out here on Captain's Quadrant and on To Be Seen. So please, if you can, just anything you can, just give him a few dollar dues, and it will help him a long way. He's a great man, and we thank him for his long-lasting friendship since 2022. Jason, you have a litany of things that you are going to, or just the book?
No, I will briefly go over things on my channel, Jason Roy Gaston, the Jason Roy Gaston channel. First of all, if you are not watching it, please tune in for our weekly Supernatural show. That's right. If you've ever died wondering why, wondering what two 50-year-old men.
Why did I die?
I don't know. We're 50. We'll die sooner or later. Probably sooner than later. But if you want to know what two 50-year-old men think of Supernatural, be sure to join in for our weekly show, What the Hell is Supernatural? And of course, old man yells at Star Trek, old man yells at the movie, old man yells at his dog. I don't know. He yells at a lot of stuff.
Screw you, Sparky!
And of course, The Power of J-Skull, Filmation Spotlight. All kinds of fun things. The VHS Vault every Friday, still going through Star Trek versus Star Wars. Star Trek Generations premiered this week, and I forgot to edit out a little thing in there. So there's a cute little thing where
that's always fun.
Yeah, Jace gets the little phone call in the middle, and he's just like, "What do you mean it came back positive?" You know?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, poor Jace.
Yeah. No, I was watching it, and I thought, "Oh, I should have edited that part out." It's okay. It's not bad. It's actually kind of a sweet moment. So he's just kind of like, "Oh, my daughter's calling me." I was like, "Oh, do you need to take it?" "No, it's okay. We can call her back."
You literally left that in? Oh boy, that sounds like a
3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's me being an awesome editor, by the way.
Yeah, that sounds like
awesome and overworked.
Yeah.
And of course, if you got some coin and you want to be entertained by words on a page, please.
Available now.
Please, it is available now. Starseeker Baptism by Fire, a book by me.
All right.
And I'm very proud of it. And I hope that you would enjoy it as well.
Well, Joanna's already bought a copy, and Sarah is wondering if you have a hardback as well.
Well, it's a little stiff some days, but I'm going to a chiropractor. I am going to work on the physical copy of the book. So be listening, and we will. Oh, I'm Kurt warned and what you just read. Yes, there is a chapter that is all about explosive diarrhea. But it's essential to the plot.
There you go.
Yes.
If you enjoy me, you can catch me over on the To Be Seen network, where I am talking about Ghosts, CBS's other show that isn't canceled yet, but who knows about that. I'm there with retired Trekker. Every Thursday we are on a quick hiatus because it's March Madness, so there's no Ghosts episodes, but we'll be back next week to talk about all things Ghosts. A lot of fun. If you enjoyed this Wormhole episode, go check out our Falling Skies and our Played Against Seymour A lot of fun there, as well as our interview. Well, my interview with Bonnie Gordon. Unfortunately, this says Goron, but we had a
Talk about all of a sudden, I feel better about my quality control.
So there's a lot of fun things here on the Captain's Quadrant. It's Bonnie Gordon, and it's also her birthday. So happy birthday, Bonnie!
Happy birthday, Bonnie!
Please go check out that interview. She's a phenomenal voice actress, singer, and magician, as well as so many other wonderful things, perhaps even a spy. Well, we're not going to get into that. I really hope that you guys go check it out. It's a lot of fun. She is a phenomenal person in many, many ways. So please support her endeavors. She's doing a Trek-a-thon this weekend, starting tomorrow. She's being feeding the hungry. Feeding the hunger. It sounds like a sports drink, but no, feeding the homeless, the hungry, over in Los Angeles. They are doing an all-day Star Trek marathon over on the Trek Division Network and Trek Talks Network, excuse me. And you can go check that out. And of course, we want to welcome you back. In 2 weeks, we're going to bring our interview with Duncan, part of the Letter Decks crew. He is the background actor for Starship Enterprise. He appeared in 26 episodes or 20 episodes of Star Trek Enterprise. And Jason and I sat with him. We had a great conversation. It was a lot of fun there.
Great guy.
Yeah, absolutely great guy. All right, I've got to go. I got to go do my other gig. So have a great night, everybody.
Wow. Okay. Leave some change on the dresser for me, please. Be sure to join us next time. Do we know what we're doing on Wormholes next time, or are we just winging it like we always do?
Why don't you pick something? Because you pick some wild stuff.
Okay, I'll come up with something weird.
Yeah, and do a short, and we'll post it here. It'll be a lot of fun.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. I don't like being told what to do.
Just do it. It's fine.
Be sure to join us next week right here on Wormholes. Until then, Joe's got to leave, apparently.
Yeah, I got to go finish. Bye.